I wanted to share one more thing, which is just to give a sense of how Dalcrozians might introduce rhythm elements in the classroom. Shall we do a quick rhythm game?
Sure.
Okay, so this is going to sound familiar because this is something you hear quite a lot in a Dalcroze class. Do what I do, 4 beats later.
Okay.
Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Oh, we have earphones on. We have to tug on our earlobes for this next part. Okay, so the dupes, when we say the dupes, we're touching a pointer finger to our nose. I'm going to get to chukas, which will be tugging left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right on my earlobes. When I eventually get to oohs, I'll be tracing a long arc of a hand from down by my knee up to the sky. And then when I get to a ks, I'll do a clap in the middle of my body, spreading out over the full length of the ks. Okay, so now our listeners know what we'll be doing physically, but we'll also post a clip. Okay, here we go. Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Chicka, 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 chicka.
Chicka, 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 chicka.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Ks. Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Chicka, 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 chicka. Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Doop, 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 doop.
Do, 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 do.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Chook, 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 chook.
Do, 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 do.
Now, for listeners, you should know David and I are doing this over the internet, and we're using Jamulus, which has pretty low latency. There's still a little bit of latency, so I was having to be ever so slightly ahead of David, which was totally wonderfully confusing for me. But it's, so just to talk through the sequence of that, first we did one sound at a time, leaving silence and echoing. Then I would do one sound for measure, and the next measure I'd always put a ks, a whole note in. And then each measure changing to whatever I want it to be. But still, by the way, every fourth measure, I was putting a ks in so that there was a sense of cadence and ordering to the phrase length.
That is so important to me, is that things be musical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you can do things at random, and if you don't make them musical, are you really... It's like that you're putting another impediment in the way while you're creating new skills.
And David, I'm really glad you said that, because the next thing I do, actually, let's do a little more. Yep.
Okay.
Ready? Doop, 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 doop. Chook, 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 doop, chook, chook, doop, doop,
doop, doop, doop, doop.
Ooh, ooh,
ooh,
doop, doop, chook, chook, chook.
I started my chickas too loud.
It's all good. It's all good, right? But to intentionally then create dynamic and even pitch shapes within it, so that it starts becoming not just we have dupes, we have chickas, we have oohs, but we start to create.
Right. There's a
thing.
whole other layer of information that we often don't work on.
Yeah, and intentionally, when I first do this exercise, I do not put that layer of information in.
Right.
At the beginning, this is an exercise of can I do one thing while seeing another thing being done,
right.
And that that's a really hard skill to learn at first, right? With college students, yeah, great, but with elementary students, the I'm holding my own and I'm not doing what I'm seeing. That takes a lot of work. And actually, what I will do in that, I do sort of a Simon Says kind of thing. I'll say, do what I do. Doop, doop, doop. We're all doing it. And I say, keep doing that. Don't change until I say change. The class keeps doing it. I switch it. Chick, 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 chick. Keep doing your dupes until I say change. Now we're all doing chick, chick, right? And so so you can layer it up that way of having them experience, I'm doing eighth notes while I'm seeing quarter notes, or vice versa, and starting to feel the relationship of those different notes.
And you know what's also great about this, and this is just stating the obvious, I know, but it's all a game.
It's all a game.
It's all a game.
It's all a game. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay, let's spin this game out a little bit. So now I'm just going to do the sounds at the piano, but would you do everything back just as you were doing it?
Okay.
So you'll hear doops, chukas, oohs, and ks from the piano. Ready? Here we go.
Chicka 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 doo 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 ks. Chicka 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 doo 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 doo. Chicka 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 ks. Ooh ooh. Chicka 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 chicka. Ooh ooh. Ks. Doo 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 doo. Chicka 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 chicka. Ooh ooh. Ks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you end with this cymbal crash.
The cymbal crash,
Fantastic.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And and of course, what we are doing is rhythmic dictation. We're doing real-time rhythmic dictation.
Yeah.
And as we build it up, I could change the note value within the measure, which I wasn't doing at all. I was doing a full measure of each, right?
Right.
We could change the note values within the measure, which
Right.
adds another layer of complexity. Or as I was doing that, I was trying to play things that kind of sounded like our sounds.
Uh-huh.
But I could just improvise freely, and everyone would still do back the same motions. But I don't necessarily have to sound right. I could do like a bad Beethoven sonata, right? As if I start with chukas. Right? You just you can just spin it out in any number of ways that you want to spin it.
And if I didn't feel confident at the piano, I can go la 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 la.
Absolutely, which is equally good. Which is exactly, yeah. And as we were talking about with body fej, having students lead this exercise, starting with the basic form of doing the doops and chukas as we talked about. With a rule of every fourth bar they're going to do a ks, and that's hard. That's really hard to remember. I'll often, actually, as they're doing it, just politely say 1, 2 at the start of each bar, 3, and then gradually take that away. To learn to create 4-measure shapes,
right,
is wonderfully challenging. And as we did, adding that layer of musical information that exists on top of notes and rhythm as well. These are wonderful pathways into improvisation for students that they can do away from their instruments and in an oral skills classroom. So.